Hello, my crow friends. Didn't I just see you a couple weeks ago? All right, or maybe you're new to this collective. In either case, welcome. So, we will start out with the crow, of course, your significator. And that is in the air element. The crow is spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. When in balance, psychic, strong, clear. When out of balance, ungrounded and hypersensitive. To bring into balance, daily meditation practice. So, my crow friends, perhaps you've been doing that because, wow, these first few cards out are really nice. We have the rainbow. The most difficult part of a situation is over. What have you been going through? And then, of course, we have the horseshoe, which is good luck. Quill, getting back to basics. So whatever you've been through, it's time for something different. Getting back to basics, I guess. Then we have ring. A marriage will take place, either romantic or business. Okay, so it does not have to be romantic. There is a fair man here, so dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. And I believe this particular person has blue eyes as well. Hard to tell. All right, and next, haystack, karma. You will reap what you have sown. That can be a bit ominous, but you have really positive cards here, so I'm assuming that you're getting some pretty positive results from your actions. So why are you here? Things seem to be going really well for you. Maybe you do have a regular meditation practice now. Whatever it is, it's working out for you. Let's see, why are you here? Is this the right deck? Maybe not. I know, we'll go with Crow Tarot. That's obvious. Why didn't I think of that? All right. For my crow friends, why are they here when things seem to be going so well? So we have the Six of Wands. That's definitely a card of success. Oh, we also have the Five of Wands, so some struggle. We have strength. And we have the Nine of Wands. All right, so you have struggled. You have this situation, it may be over, or the worst of it is over, but it wasn't easy to get through it, and you're feeling a bit beat up. I always say you're feeling wounded, weary, and weary about the Nine of Wands. You've been through a lot, and it's left its mark. Perhaps you need a rest right now, more than anything else. Crossing influence is strength. Have you learned to show compassion for yourself? Have you learned that true strength is not about who has the biggest muscles or who would win in a physical fight, but showing compassion for others, for yourself, taming your beast, and your inner beast, your impulses toward aggression, perhaps, toward whatever your impulses may be that lead to harm to others and yourself. Perhaps you are still learning to tame them. I don't think this is in the crossing position. So it's not saying absolutely that you have a lot of work to do, but the truth is that's something we all work on our entire lives. So You have been learning to tame your inner beast, your self-destructive impulses, to care for yourself, to love yourself, and perhaps to show some of that to others. Fear may be part of your beast. Most likely it is. We do a lot of things out of fear, a lot of really negative things. So it would seem that you want to believe in your success, but perhaps you really are still feeling the struggle, the effects of the struggle, and you just don't feel successful right now. And that's fine. It seems like it said the situation is, the worst is over. It didn't say it's completely over. So there may still be some things you have to deal with, some cleanup work to do. And as I said, as far as the strength card goes, we're always dealing with our inner beast. It never completely goes away. We just get better at it. So, show some compassion for yourself. And let's see what the universe has to say to you now. Oh, there's not too many here. I can clean those up right away. What would the universe like to say to you? The divine in whatever form that you believe in. Wow, that jumped right out. So first off, the ship going places. You may not feel like you're going places yet. That's okay. Yeah, you still feel like you're under a cloud. Are you deeply committed? I don't know. You have clouds and indecision. That doesn't sound like deeply committed to me. And you're not in control of the situation, which may be driving you crazy. You're being called to have faith. Things may be progressing very slowly. Oh, wow. Another card of having faith. You are really not in control of this situation. This whole line is, you are not in control. So this is, I mean, you have divine timing here. Peace, miracles, leap of faith. We do have forgiveness, reconciliation, and freedom. That's nice. But definitely divine intervention, ascension, promises kept, duality, as above, so below. You still have so much to learn. I mean, we all do. So this also says incremental, which is another thing to think about. We're always baby stepping. And of course, what comes out? Seed. Small steps. Small beginnings, big results. Also a part of timing. When you think about how gardens grow, how seeds germinate and become something much bigger. Again, that it takes as much time as it takes. We do not have control over it. Perhaps there was a false start, a sense of poor timing, a misfire, and that has you discouraged. I don't think careful planning is the solution, although that may be something you like to do, to think things through, plan things out. It's good to have a vision, and you need to keep in mind that thoughts become things. So our thoughts do have an impact on our reality, so do our feelings. And unfortunately, your next card out is the snake. Yikes. So there has been deception. And that has created, I'm not quite sure about this deception. In order to recover from deception, jealousy, betrayal, backstabbing, toxic behavior, that's tough. That is definitely a long, long road. There's self-healing that takes place if you want to restore a connection. It's going to take a lot of effort. Just saying I'm sorry is not going to do the job. It's not even going to come close. People sometimes get confused on that point. You can't say I'm sorry and that's it, problem solved. No. Being truly contrite, true contrition, is about the actions you take, the consistent, repetitive actions you take, the effort. If there's no effort, then the words I'm sorry mean absolutely nothing, and they are more of an insult than anything else. So making amends, it should be the goal, if that's what's really going on here. The desire to reconnect or restore a connection. Whether you are on the receiving end of this snake behavior or the one who did it, it doesn't really matter. It's not something that can be restored simply by saying I'm sorry. It's going to take a quest. Geese are known for being faithful, so perhaps there was a lack of faithfulness. Wow. So somebody is on a quest to turn this ending into something else. But we also have the Wheel of Fortune. So again, this is a reference to karma and being out of control of the situation, of the forces of the universe, being truly in control, not you. Of course, if you're trying to make things right with somebody else, then, you have to accept that they are going to be perhaps the deciding factor and not you. However, you have the sun, you have yes, you have success, victory, happiness, and the hummingbird also about happiness, about enjoying life, lifting out of negativity, lightness of being resilient, the sweetness of life. This is the second reading in a row I've had that had the sun card. A lot of happiness, a lot of potential. But I would bear in mind that this is a long and winding road. This is a quest, no less. Right now, things are very, very fragile. Maybe this is a situation with the rainbow, in which case you do have to keep in mind it's not over yet. The rainbow said the worst is over. It didn't say it was all over. So, you are not in complete control of this situation. There's still a lot of work to be done. You are still on a quest. and some of it is completely out of your hands. Which doesn't mean that you should give up, nor does it mean that you should abdicate some of your responsibility. You need to take action. You need to take consistent, authentic action. You need to show integrity over and over and over again. I'm saying you, but it could be that you need to see consistent action, consistent integrity over and over and over again. I don't know which end you're on. Are you the receiver or the actor of this snake behavior? Either way, the action does need to be consistent. Repairing something like this takes a tremendous amount of effort and time. But there's definitely potential here for something pretty wonderful. All right. I think that really covers it. So you really just need to be, or they really need to be, or you really need to see. So you need to stand up for yourself. If you were the recipient of the snake behavior, you need to stand up for yourself and say, no, I don't trust you. You haven't shown me that you can be trusted yet. And I'm sorry, it's not enough. It's easy to say I'm sorry and then go right back to doing the awful things you were doing before. And if you were the person who did this, have you changed? Really? Honestly, the Six of Wands card makes me a little uneasy. You need to be... So, people who are faithful and loyal because of their inner commitment to themselves. So someone who is faithful and loyal is committed to being a good person, is committed to acting every day, because being a good person is something you do every day. It's something you have to renew every day. There are choices every day that will call you to stray from being a good person. So you can't just say, oh, I like to think of myself as a good person. You don't think of yourself as a good person. You be a good person. And you do that with the decisions that you make every day. The little ones, the medium-sized ones, the big ones, the ones nobody else ever finds out about. Those decisions are what make you a good person. And there will be many opportunities every day for you to make that kind of decision. And it doesn't matter whether you are the snake person or the person who received the snake behavior. This is always true. It is always going to be a long and winding road. But in terms of recovery from this kind of thing, I find it interesting the snake and the winding road look alike, right? But in terms of recovery, that would be very, very difficult. It would call for enormous growth and change on the part of the snake person. And the recipient of the snake behavior would be understandably very, very, very skeptical. And very, very hard to convince. And hopefully they have their boundaries up and are taking care of themselves. This might well be a situation that calls for professional help. You may need the help of someone else to get you through this, if you're both committed to trying. But your outcome does look good. Looks like it's worth the effort. I am wishing you all the best, whatever that may be.